Hello and welcome to the Mo WIFF 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. I am still your host, Cam Smith. And going forward, we have a new co-host, Rory Rank. Thank you for joining me tonight. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. The Cardinals are beating up on the Cubs here in the ninth inning. Gotta love that. We have
Love it.
games coming up this Thursday. The season is in full swing, and we are finally going to start to get back on a kind of normal track here. We've had some unfortunate, circumstances regarding Adam's availability and a lot of behind the scenes stuff happening here at Mo WIFF. And we're going to get into that. We're going to start that in our first segment here today. We're going to talk about the new era here at Muff, and then we'll switch over, and then we're going to talk about our Feather Shark division and our UCC STL division for our two later segments, as we're a little bit over a month into the season. Rory, what do you think as your first appearance? Well, I guess it's technically your
Yeah.
second appearance, but first full-time
Yeah.
appearance here as a co-host.
Right. I got my feet wet on the rookie draft.
Yep.
First time I've been on a podcast, so hopefully I can continue the tradition of having a good podcast. So I got to say thank you for having me on first and foremost.
Absolutely.
I listen to these podcasts. I think they're entertaining, and I'm mowing grass or I'm just kind of riding on my way to work. I love
I
it when
love
these
that.
things come out, man. Makes my day
Yeah.
much better.
I love that. And that's why I want to start and get back into it. And I know you are a guy that loves to talk wiffle ball, and I could sit down and talk with you all day. So it's going to be a good combination here, me and you, I think. Definitely going to miss Adam.
Absolutely.
We'll probably hear him again sometime in the future, whether it's a guest appearance or just as it's anything. You just never know. He could,
Sure.
team on here whenever he wants with us, whenever he's free, or whatever the time calls for. But uh, let's start with that. Our first segment. It is the new era. All right, Rory. Let's
Okay.
start with you. You're the new
Well,
co-host. Let's tell everybody about yourself first. How did you get into
okay.
wiffle ball? Where'd you start? And how'd you find us?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, I was talking to a player for the Pilots on Adam's team, Sam Gildahouse, about this, and I said, it's hard to believe that when I started wiffle ball, you had to go on the internet and type in wiffle ball to get a wiffleball.net chat room so you could find people to play this game with. And that's how I started in
Yep.
college. I found some guys from the St. Louis area, and we met up at a tournament. And much like, kind of how we found Colin and Caleb, I brought something to the game that people thought was valuable, and I kind of ended up playing with those guys in a league, Fast Plastic, and it's just kind of taken off from there. And I've never really quit playing. Life, comes and goes, and you kind of fall in, fall out of it. But it just so happened, actually, a person shared the Mo WIFF flyer, if you will,
Yep.
online with me and said, "Hey, is this something you'd want to do?" And I've seen a lot of leagues. I've seen Skibby League. Kind of thought, well, it's kind of their own thing. I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
feel like I knew anybody, but Mo WIFF just kind of spoke to me, man. It was fast pitch. Loved everything about it. Loved the this. I love the podcast. I
Yep.
love the live streams, the games, and man, it's just like really made me want to get back into the game, even though I'm kind of getting up there in years. I'm almost 40, but I still feel like a 22-year-old. So that's all that matters.
I think that's the best part about this game. We don't run bases. We don't do. You can
Right.
you can hit in this game for as long as you can. I
Yep.
personally seen Jay Ventresca, who is one of the best hitters I've ever seen, and I've only seen him for the past 3 or 4 years, and he is in his 40. I think he's like in his mid 40s, and he's still better than anyone I've seen at this game. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. I remember Jay back in '06 when I went to Cedar Park, Texas. And
I
I
wish I
mean, he
could have
was a
seen him
great
back
hitter
in those
then.
days. Yeah,
He
I
was
mean, he's
good.
unbelievable. Uh,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, I got to see him a couple weeks ago up at the MAW tournament when him and the Las Vegas Whifflers won that tournament, and yeah, just
Absolutely.
phenomenal. Uh, but no, Roy, I think this is just going to be so much fun with us. Like you said, you have a long history in this game,
Hmm.
even longer than I, and a lot of people know I've been playing this game for a long time. Obviously,
You
not
have.
as a big spectrum. Uh, we've been playing for about almost 10 years now, but really only like in the big scene for the past 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, obviously, this is our third season of MO WIFF, uh, and I didn't get my get on the national stage until about 1 or 2 years before that. So, gonna
Right.
be a
Well,
lot of fun, man. What's up?
you you burst on the national scene. I mean, that you're a name that people know now. Your career is ascending. I mean, you did really well last year and at UWIFs, and you've done well at the NWLA. I watched that tournament from home. Yeah, I think you played in the rain, and
Yeah, in the
it was
pouring
it
rain.
was a tough go.
Hey,
Absolutely.
we got a
Yeah.
turf field this year for that tournament. It's gonna be sick.
Ooh,
Unfortunately,
nice.
not gonna be able to go to UWIFs. Thanks, Cole Layton, getting
Yeah.
married, taking my shot at the national title away. But that's all right.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be there for his wedding. It's gonna be a great time. I can't wait. So
It'll be a good time. And then, next year, then you guys can make a run at it, or whoever you go with or whoever you're playing with, I'm sure. But take
exactly,
it from me, Cam. Time goes by quickly.
give the arm a little bit of rest this year, right?
Hmm.
All right. Another part of this first segment. Now that we got you out of the way, people know who you are now.
Yeah.
Um, let's switch it over to me just for a second. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I know most people already know, they've seen it, but there has been a change in not necessarily leadership, but a change at the top here at MO WIFF. Josh Rogers, unfortunately, just hasn't been able to have the time to kind of go with everything. He's got, two young boys that are gosh, they're playing baseball all the time, and it's just taking up a lot of time for him. He just it was the right time for him to step away. Uh and I'm very excited to take on this position. Um, Not much really is going to change. Me and Josh kind of ran everything together. It wasn't like one or the other. And as Roy, this is
Hmm.
not a one man show. Anyway, before
No.
it wasn't with Josh, it's not going to be with me. We have a group of 11 guys who we make every decision together. You have to have at least six to get anything passed. Uh, so just so everyone knows, like this is not, a big change, and it's not going to change a lot. It's just there's a new face and a new name at the top, and that's literally it. Uh
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, since I have a little more time, I'm, posting a little bit more graphics, and that may be it. But
Right.
all the process on the field and getting stuff done is all going to be relatively the same.
Yeah. And congratulations, man. I mean, you've done a good job as the co-commish, even though that wasn't the
Yeah.
official title, but you
Yeah.
moved into it. You are the full-blown commission. And Josh did a good job. And I guess just real quick, when I did find the league, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I reached out to Josh. I actually called him, and he took my call immediately. And I was a little leery. I wanted to talk to him about what this league really was, and the guy sold me. Not only did he sell me, I sold Tony and Jay Rich, and
Yeah.
and I appreciated that. I really did, because not a lot of people would do that. And Josh took
Yeah.
time out of his day to really convince me this was the league to join, and he was right. And he's going to be missed. There's no doubt about it, as the commissioner, but he'll still be there. He's not going anywhere. And
Yeah.
I look forward to actually seeing him focus more on playing, because I haven't actually seen Josh pitch yet. And, you
Yeah.
know, I'm excited for that.
Obviously, he had the arm injuries, so he hasn't been able to pitch, and uh, we're seeing all of a sudden he learned how to hit. And I think a
Right.
big part of it is, or what could be, is the fact that he's no longer has all this pressure of running the league and doing all this thing. If
Yeah.
you've watched him at the fields like since then, he is a lot more relaxed. He's having a lot more fun. Just no pressure.
Right.
He's not having to worry about making sure the live streams are up and running, which has been a problem.
Been a
Uh,
pain.
which we'll talk about here in a second. But
Yeah.
uh, No, Josh did a fantastic job. We would not be here if it wasn't for him, especially to get this started and to keep it going and get it up and running and finding all the sponsors and just creating everything and really showing me how to run everything because I would not
Sure.
know I would have not known where to start. And
Yeah.
so just a huge shout out to him. Like you said, going to be missed, but he's not going anywhere. So we're not going to actually miss him. We're just going to miss him at the top. Uh,
Yeah.
but everyone knows I have a huge passion for this game and for this league. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here on out. I don't plan on going anywhere. Hopefully, all you guys in the front office stick around and help me for as long as you would like. And I think we have a great product and it's going to be even better going forward. So
Well, and I agree. I think we're in good hands. And that's just something that not a lot of people know is when you run a wiffle ball league, when you run a league, right? So
yeah,
just anything that is fun and cool and has little nuances that are neat. It takes a group of people, and Mo Wiff has those people, man. I mean, it
yeah,
has the right people. That's what's neat about it. It has a lot of guys that are willing to step up and just do little things, do big things as well. Calling games every night, setting up, taking down the field, and it's critical to the success of the league is to have people that care, and I think we do
absolutely.
have those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not even just, the front office guys. It's the other guys that stick
Right.
around and help out. It's the guys who come on their off nights to just watch the games and help, and they even help set up and take down. And it's Alex Eggert taking some fantastic photos
Great
for us.
photos.
Man, that has been one of my favorite things from this year.
Absolutely.
Having like a full-time photographer almost has been unbelievable. If you haven't, go check out his stuff on Facebook and Instagram. Man, I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
40 something.
Something 40.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you can you could easily find us. We've shared it and we've posted about it, and I'm sure we will continue to do so. So it's gonna be great.
He's captured my diving play, and I
Oh,
want
that
to
was
I want to pay
awesome.
him money to frame that. Yeah, he did a great job with it.
Yeah, that was
Put that
awesome.
behind
He
me on the
like
wall.
immediately when it happened, I was kind of standing right there, and he showed me like frame by frame, like the different pictures, and I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah,
So
he did a good
really
job.
cool to see that. He's done a fantastic job for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Our last little spot here in this new era segment is a little bit of it's good and it's bad news at the same time. Uh Bad news for people at home on Thursday nights who'd love to watch our games live. But unfortunately, Chesterfield Valley has the worst internet connection known to mankind,
Yep.
and uh, and I've been in the middle of a desert before, trying to
Right.
get
Yes.
connection. But no, our live streams will probably be no longer. I think what we're looking at right now is maybe live streaming our final game of the night. I know it's a late one, 9 o'clock, but that gives us a little bit of wiggle room with it. For anyone who doesn't know, our live streams, when it gets done, it has to upload. The problem with the internet connection is it doesn't allow the games to upload, and we can't record the next game on Switcher until that is uploaded. And sometimes
Right.
with the bad internet connection, it takes up to an hour, and and then it's just the GoPro game, and then it's a pain on the YouTube channel, which is where our main focus really is going to be. So what we'll do going forward is at minimum, the first 3 games of the night will all be recorded, and then actually, I know we're gonna do all 4, but if the final game
Mm.
works out, maybe, I haven't talked to Jason with that, who runs our YouTube channel. Uh, just an idea that I've had, but, we'll record the games, and then, like we did this past week on Friday, they will premiere on Friday night at the 6 o'clock game on Thursday will be 6 o'clock game on Friday. 7 o'clock at 7 o'clock, so on and so forth. All 4 games will be posted and premiered on YouTube every week on Friday. That way, you're getting to see an actual better product. You're not getting to see the live stream cut out. And
Yeah.
uh, I haven't ever seen it because I'm always at the field. but I've heard from multiple people that it gets real laggy, it cuts in and out, and it's just very tough. So we don't want to deal with that and have a bad product that's put out there, and then those are the games. Obviously, when they finally get uploaded to YouTube after we leave, they look better. But for the actual live stream, they just aren't the quality that we want to put out there. And until we can find a better solution, I think this is just the way we got to go going forward.
Yeah, I agree. My mom and dad, they watch the game, the live stream. I mean, they've been my biggest fans since I joined the league. And it has gotten frustrating for them. I know my wife and kids watch at home, and it's been frustrating for them. So yeah, I think it's something we got to address because you're going to lose viewers anyway. I mean, it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
until we can get Starlink subscription, sponsored by Starlink, maybe, hey,
Yeah. Right.
something like that, and be able to get that product out immediately. It's probably the direction to go. Just have one game that is a featured game, if you
Yep.
will, to have some sort of live presentation, but yet it's not going to be hindering or holding up the rest of our games that night.
Exactly. Yep. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a transition period for us for sure. But ultimately, you're still going to get to see those videos. It's just going to be a day later. Normally, I don't post the final scores until at least Friday, but I'll probably do it over the weekend now.
Sure.
So you're still not going to know. It's just going to be like you're watching it live. It's just wife and kids, you may know the final score before everybody else. But for
Right.
our viewers and our following and our fan base, it's gonna be the same thing. Instead of on Thursdays, it's now on Fridays. So, and you're still gonna get the highlight video, which comes out, normally on Mondays, unless Jason's kind of swamped with either work or internet connection at home or whatever. Then sometimes it gets pushed till Tuesday, but you're still gonna get that highlight video every week as well. So, which is one of my favorite things to watch.
Love that. Jason does such a good job with that. I mean, to me, it makes like the middle of the week awesome because it's a hype from last week and it's a hype for the week for the coming up games that week.
Yep, exactly. I absolutely love it. He does a great job with that and really get to see all the good plays that happen. So if you don't want to watch the full, hour long game, you get to see it in half the time, and you get to see all 4 games in half the time. So
right now, just real quick to that. Sorry, real quick.
Go ahead.
He's got to watch 4 hours of game film to get that product. So that's a huge time commitment for Jason. So it's something that I'm sure he does and he loves to do. But it's another one of those things where it takes somebody like that to just elevate our league to the next level. So
yeah, it helps that I've been sending him the score sheets from each game, so it's easier to find certain things. But
I've been sending him a storyboard just
there
to
you
help
go.
out.
Perfect. Yeah,
So,
anything to help. But sometimes I forget, and he's got to do it all by himself. And I'm like last week, and I was like, dude, I totally forgot. He's like, yeah, it's all right, no big deal.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into season 3. We're gonna start with the Feather Shark division. All right, Rory, this is your division, the Feather Shark division, consisting of, let's go. At the top, we're going to run through the standings here first off, and then we'll talk about each team for a little bit and see how they fared so far. So we'll start the Mojo at the top of this division at 6-1. And if you don't know by now, you get 2 points for a win. And anytime you have an extra inning loss, you get 1 point. So 12 points at the top of this division, the 6-1 Mojo. Rory, did you expect a month into the season that the Mojo would be sitting here at the top? They were at the top of the power rankings, and they've just been really just kind of dominating everybody.
2 words, Cam. Jackson Crosley.
Unbelievable. Resurgence. He's been
Guy's
fantastic.
Unreal.
He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
This team, they have a plus 23 run differential. Jackson Crosley has given up 1 hit in, I believe, 3 starts.
He's lights out. I mean,
I think it's been 15 innings, and he has just been absolutely dealing, and not just it's not just the no hits, it's the strikeouts, it's the velocity has been way
Yeah.
up. It's him showing up. Like this is Cole.
Yes.
Cole is over here kicking himself because he's like, man, where was this last year? The Mambas needed
Yeah.
that. But yeah, wow, Jackson Crosley, unbelievable start for him.
And I got to meet Gus Skibby for the first time, and that guy is legit in throwing a wiffle ball. And I think that I have him as Jackson is 3-0 and Gus is 2-0, and I think that's pretty much all you need. I know Sam has grimaced a few times. Sam Skibby has grimaced a few
Yeah,
times with his throwing shoulder, and it I hate to see that, but I think what's even worse is you might see less of Sam Skibby and more of Gus and Jackson Crosley.
yeah. Jackson 14 innings, 1 hit, no runs.
Yeah,
And
sick.
I'm gonna say it again because I've said it a couple of times, in our group chats. Uh, Jackson Crosley should have 1 earned run, but somebody, Sam Skibby, had to bring
Oh,
it back with those long arms. That ball was over the
that is
fence.
right.
He's one hand over the fence, robbed me of a home run.
Earned
still,
him a car
I'm,
wash
s-
though.
I'm still bitter. It did get him a car wash. Thank
Yeah.
you to Auto Spa because anyone who doesn't know, if you haven't been following our social media, our Auto Spa Player of the Week, they get a 60-day unlimited car washes, 60 days.
Huge.
I'm coming. I'm gonna get one of those this year.
Yeah, I haven't
No,
won
that's
it yet,
awesome.
and I now am highly motivated. If I wasn't before, I am extremely
Exactly. Yeah,
motivated now.
everyone's got to be motivated now. Yeah, this team only 7 runs given up and 30 scored. They've been hitting the ball even when they're batting, 5 and 6 guys. It's
Yeah,
there hasn't been an easy out. Quentin has looked a lot better. Uh, I don't think Greg has, been playing as good as he was last year, but he's still dangerous. You're still very scared of him. You don't want to groove him one because he'll hit it over the
no,
fence. He's shown that plenty of times.
absolutely.
And then, yeah, you have Brett and Blake, who have both been, uh, playing unbelievable. Blake made an unbelievable play in the field. I don't know how he didn't lose a leg making that play.
That
Uh,
was a really good play.
but yeah, these guys, wow, just dominating, and they've been having a lot of fun. You can tell that's a reason why this team is gelling, and Doug has done a great job putting it all together.
Absolutely.
And in second place, no surprise here. Well, a little bit of surprise, but it's the Melonheads. They were. I think they were my pick to win the division. They're 3-2 right now, 6 points. Uh, Not too bad. Only a +1 run differential. Anything, surprise you or stand out to you from this Melonheads team?
Well, first of all, I will have to say I think we are actually ahead of them in points. So the Archers are beating the Melonheads, even though
Oh,
it
you
does list
guys,
them that way.
it does have it
Yeah,
listed
yeah.
um
So
as win because it's on the website. It's actually based off of win percentage,
you
not
got it.
points. So you are right.
Yeah, and
So
I'm not letting the Melonheads have anything.
I
So,
love that.
I'm taking that. Sure.
Let's trash the Melonheads here. Let's go.
There's
We'll
no
we'll
other
talk about them later. Let's switch to you. You guys are in second place with
appreciate it.
7 points. Same amount of wins, but a couple more losses, but obviously have that extra inning loss. Uh, how has it been from your perspective as a member of the Archers? You guys, as of right now, have the worst run differential in the league at -22.
Mm,
Are you
mm.
guys worried at all? What's like the vibe in the Archers clubhouse?
So we're not worried. Here's the vibe. Jordan Smith is like I want to quote a Melonhead. He's a dog.
Yeah, I
Sam
knew
nailed
that's what
that.
you're gonna say.
He is a dog. DAWG because that guy he's the glue that holds our team together. I mean, I'd like to think that I've contributed. I have not done what I wanted to do. I've been in the position to win 3 games, and I have not done it, and that's frustrating for me because those are must-win games when we have Jordan pitching.
Yeah,
And so he has won games himself. He did that last week. That's why he earned himself a car wash.
yeah.
I mean, the guy's unreal. He's the MVP for a reason. But we're
Yeah.
not worried. Brian Hunter stepping up his game. I mean, the guy
He
has
he
delivered.
has been a monster at the plate lately.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
I've loved watching him.
he's on it. Yeah, I mean, he's just got. He's feeling it now. We got Tony Saggio, who's new to the game, but he earned us a win by patience at the plate. So,
Yeah.
you know, shout out to BK. That guy was super clutch last year for us, and we need that guy. We need a guy like that this year. So, who's it going to be? I don't know. It could be any of us, but
Yeah.
James
And good news
Cheney
for you.
might get a
Yeah.
hold of one. Yeah,
James has been pretty good for you guys
yeah.
as well. It's yeah. Obviously, you guys have run into some tough pitching, uh, a lot of close games you're battling it, and
Oh,
obviously you
yeah.
haven't solidified a second pitcher with since you can't throw right now. Uh, and I'm
Kills
assuming
me.
you're not going to throw at all this year, correct?
It doesn't look good. The league's kind of we moved the league up in time. I
Yeah.
think our league's going to finish earlier than it did last year. I'm not behind on my development with my arm, but it's not worth rushing back in July. It's just not going
Yeah,
to work out.
it's really not.
Yeah.
I'd rather, save it and then, you're fully ready to go next year.
Yes,
And what's going to help you guys is you're getting Ethan Bailey in here in
that's
about a
right.
month or so. That's going to be huge for you guys. He's a guy who can get some innings on the mound. I know he's not
Yeah,
necessarily familiar with the distance yet, but I was talking to him last night.
me
The
too.
guy was asking a lot of questions. The guy's got
Yeah.
wiffle ball talent. We've seen it in
Yes.
videos, and just him asking the right questions, I think, is going to be a huge factor for you guys when he's going to come in here. Yeah, he might not be an ace or a number one, but he's going to be a guy that can maybe be that spark, especially in the second half of the season, to get you guys into a playoff spot. And everybody knows you get into a playoff scenario in a
You got
playoff
it.
series and you have Jordan, you have a chance, and that's all that
You have a
matters.
chance.
And
Yeah.
you have a couple of hitters that can get you there as well.
Super
And
excited to have
Jordan can't
Bailey.
stop hitting.
No.
What is the where did this come? I mean, obviously, he
Yeah.
hit very well last year, but holy cow, especially from year one, who Jordan, you could give him a tennis racket and he probably wasn't touching it. This guy can't stop hitting right now.
He's found it, man. And I'll be honest, there's not a guy that I think in the league I'd rather have up in a situation that you need to have something done than Jordan. I mean, that I'm glad he plays on my team because if it's not him, it's me. And I do trust myself in those situations, but 9 times out of 10, he takes care of it before it gets to me. And I love that too. So
Yeah, it's not blue pits. It's I mean
yeah,
rockets.
he's on it.
We've made
Yeah,
the joke about a million times. What's the exit velo on that one? Because I mean, wow, it's been fun to watch for sure.
sure.
All right, let's jump to the melon heads.
All right.
You could skip them, but we'll give them a little love. Anything that has
It's
stuck
time.
out to you from the melon heads so far?
Yeah, lack of Spencer Bogad because when he shows up, they're really, really dangerous. I mean, we
He's
lucked
too
out.
busy. He's too
Yeah,
busy meeting Patrick Mahomes.
doing memes, the memes.
Yeah, too many memes and too many visits to the NFL draft.
Right, right.
I think that's definitely a key. They're still in a good position. I don't think they have anything to be worried about. 3-2. Even missing Spencer Bogat. Jason has stepped up tremendously. So his development on the mound from last year to this year, I think, is taking a big step forward. And
Yep.
he's been kind of the guy. Obviously, we've seen his bat decline a little bit this year. He doesn't have the high average like he did last year. He doesn't have the home runs. I don't know if he has a home run yet. He has the home run derby home run, but that doesn't actually count towards a home run.
Yeah,
But
he hit two.
yeah, he hit two. But we're not seeing that high powered Melonheads offense. They've only scored 10 runs in their 5
Right.
games, so they're averaging 2 per game, which is kind of the opposite of what we saw last year, as they were so much higher than that. But Ryan Brown still they're all looking good at the plate. It's just they're also facing tough guys. They beat Jordan, and that's tough to do. And it was an
Yep.
in regulation game, which is even harder to do against Jordan. So props to the
Correct.
Melon Heads for that, because not many people can do that and have done that. And they did, and they showed even in that series without Spencer Bogad that they put up a fight, and really in both of those
Yeah.
games, because that the second, what was it, the second game? What happened in that second game? I don't remember.
So we had the second game was where Sam pitched
That's right,
and
and
Brian
Jordan came
Hunter.
in.
Yeah, Jordan came in. We needed that win. That was the right call. I know it was kind of it's not unsportsmanlike, but we don't like to go back on our word. I don't personally, but
Yeah,
it's also we got to have a win. So
yeah.
we build a lead up on Sam. We're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. It sucks for the Mountain Heads in that situation, thinking I'm
Yeah,
getting a whole game here without Jordan, and maybe that's what kind of cost him too. Is with Tony Saggio on the mound in that first inning, and they came up a brand new guy who I think it was his first ever inning on the
it
mound,
was.
and he
Yeah,
struck out the first two batters because they were just up there trying to hit the ball hard,
yeah,
and that could have cost them. They ended up still getting runs that inning, but
right.
if they come in laser focused in that first two at bats, maybe that's a
Yeah,
whole different ball game, and Jordan never even gets in. So,
sure. And
but
real quick,
yeah,
Spencer is a great. I think there was um the poll, if you will, on Twitter.
yeah,
Do the Melonheads lack an ace? And I'll be first and foremost, that is fiction. Spencer Bogat is an ace. I've
he absolutely
played
is,
this game a long time, and the guy is really good at wiffle ball, and
especially
he can do it with his
especially
bat.
now. Especially
Sure,
now, he's an ace with the cut ball developed in. Instead of,
hundred
you're not
percent.
getting just the clean ball, you're getting a mixture of both, and
Yeah,
he has really come a long way. And it's sparked him as a pitcher and as an ace for sure. When we saw it, I mean, he made one mistake in that championship game, and
yeah,
yeah, and that was it. It was 2-0 after that. Um,
hmm
but other than that one mistake, he pitched a hell of a game, and he's done that so far this year as well, and he's going to
yeah,
continue to do it. I think he'll be here a little bit more. Obviously there's no more draft stuff, but you never know what kind of NFL stuff will come up for him with work. But looking forward to seeing him, getting out there at Catch 22 Miracle Field more often, and seeing that Melonheads team really
definitely.
really vibe, and I just love the memes too. It's fun. I
Oh
like
yeah,
all the
they're a good
trash
time.
talk. Yeah.
Love it.
I
That's
don't
part of
think
wiffle
I
ball.
don't think I don't think most people are, and I hope they aren't offended by anything that they say or do. I think it's all in good fun, and just their way to get under
Absolutely.
under your skin to try to get any advantage they can, because they need it. They're not that good. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
All right. And let's talk about the last team in this division. They are 2-5. They sit there with 5 points. It's the Pilots. Now, I'm gonna say I'll start off by just saying this is not the same Pilots team as last year. This
Not
is
at all.
a revamped and an electric Pilots team. What are your thoughts on the Pilots so far?
So if the pilots were a stock, I'm buying. I mean,
Absolutely.
I hated to see Adam go down. Adam's a great pitcher. I mean, he's
Oh,
got
I
his
know. I
location
feel so
issues.
bad for him. He
Yeah,
started to get so much better. You could tell
yeah,
in that first game, and then the second game, it was just like it was all starting to click for him on the mound.
yeah, and exactly. And Adam, with his shoulder injury, I hope he's okay. I hope he can come back this year. And I haven't heard anything, but what Gildenhouse showed us
Yep.
was stupid. Because I didn't know a guy who was drafted 13th overall. I
That's
believe
awesome.
that's
Way to do your
correct.
research. Way to do your
Can
research.
throw like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
unreal.
if he can dial it, and I was talking to Cole about this today. um, if Sam can uh figure out the location aspect, they could have a second arm that's going to get them there. And Mark's still a valuable option
Yeah.
too as a
Oh
second
yeah, don't
guy.
forget Mark.
Obviously, he doesn't throw as hard, and the hitting in this league has really just come alive. So they're catching up a little
Right.
bit, but still a guy, especially after you see a flamethrower like Caleb, it's sometimes harder to hit a slower pitcher right after that because you're seeing it so fast. Um,
Yeah.
But Sam gives him a really good option. He's got the concepts down. He's got the good movement on the pitches. He's got
The double
the
step.
tools. He's just got to he's just got to figure out what's going to work for him to throw strikes. And if he can do that, then
Correct.
this team could be pretty dangerous. And it's going to be fun to see in the future. And like I love what you said. Buy the stock in this team because they're going to be a contender possibly this year. I think it's going to be a close race, closer than I think we even anticipated, because everybody's seen the graphics, they've seen the stats. Caleb he's a star in this league already.
Yep.
Just Cole said it last Thursday. He might be the hardest thrower in the league, and he's accurate. He throws strikes.
Yep.
He's not losing a lot of games. He's lost 2 games. Once when it started raining, later in the game against the Mojo, but also that Mojo team is just very good and started putting it together. But then he lost another game in extras, like with bases loaded, facing Andrew, who threw a no-hitter and had an unbelievable game himself. So you
Great
have
game.
to
Yeah.
in order to beat him, you have to be perfect as well.
You got it. And to Caleb, welcome to Wiffle Ball, where you can dominate, and it just takes one mistake, one little thing, a ball 5 in our league to end the game. And but he'll learn from that. And I haven't seen a guy throwing that hard. You threw hard last year at UWIFs. I think you hit 94. I remember on the scoreboard.
Around there.
But I haven't seen guys throwing 90 in a long time. So I mean, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Truly.
hoping to get back on that track. Maybe we'll see this
Right.
week where the mouse power at. I'm not necessarily worried about the speed. I'm worried about the location and the feel
Yeah.
of the shoulder. But
Yeah, for sure.
stay tuned for Thursday. I'll be back on the mound. First
Uh-oh.
time since week 1. Obviously, I
Yep.
had that big tournament it was like a week or 2 after the season started.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 weeks after the season started, where I threw like 19 innings.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll get
that was
that'll
ridiculous. It was 2 strikes and 4 balls, so like
yeah.
obviously not as many pitches as like 19 innings would be in our league, but
Right.
a
It
lot
does
of
help.
innings nonetheless.
Yes.
But honestly, I love this Pilots team. They're going to be fun to watch. I'm very excited. It's going to be a close race. Obviously, with 5 losses already, it's tough, but they're only one game and 2 points behind you guys. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be
Yep.
an interesting race, and really the Melonhead's right there. So this division is really wide open. I mean, anything could happen.
Wide open after the Mojo, maybe. I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on what they're gonna do, but yeah, it's anybody's race for
Yeah. Right
second,
now,
third.
the Mojo are looking like the Thunderbirds were last year, where they were just running away with the division early on.
Correct. Correct.
And I don't know, it's going to be hard to slow them down. I mean, if they can
Yeah,
stay
it's
fresh and their pitching can stay fresh, and Sam can, pitch once a month, and Jackson is there pitching twice a month, and then you got Gus once, and you're still not even we haven't even seen Brett yet.
right. Yeah.
And maybe we don't see Brett
Did he
if we don't
did
have
he
to.
pitch? I think he did pitch once against. Maybe he didn't.
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I know he was planning on getting in against us, and it didn't
It
never
didn't
happen.
happen. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is going to be fun. This could come down to that last week where it's all division games, and each team is playing, and there could be a lot riding on that last week of the season. That could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
All right, enough about the Feather Shark division. We're going to switch over to the UCC STL division. All right, let's start at the top, just like we did in the last one, and very similar to the Feather Shark division. Surprise, surprise, the Thunderbirds are at the top, 6-1 with 12 points, just like the Mojo. Only difference is a plus 15 run differential. So not as wide of a margin. They've given up the same amount of runs, only 7. but only 22 runs scored, but still very
Right.
good. This team, very dangerous. You got a couple of friends on this team from Lawa.
Sure.
Has there been a lot of talk from you guys about how good this team really is?
Yeah. Yeah. And they are good. uh, and here's the deal, when Andrew traded for Jay Rich, that I didn't like that because I needed Jay Rich to at least be able to hit free agency because I would make my pitch to him. And
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
know what Jay Rich can do. And Jay Rich is doing what Jay Rich can do this year at the plate. He didn't
Yeah,
really
and
have the
he's doing it on
greatest.
the mound
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Absolutely. As far as what I've known of Jay Rich, you're happy when he's on your team, and the Thunderbirds are in that position. They're happy he's on their team.
Yeah, this team, it's scary how good this team actually is, and I think it would be even scarier uh, if they had Andrew at the beginning of the season because
Ooh,
you
yeah.
forget, and this is unbelievable. Andrew's coming like he had his appendix removed like a week before the season started, a week or two before the season started. It was unbelievable how quick he came back and like dude on the mound he is a top level pitcher. I mean, just absolutely insane right now.
The greatest, not a pitcher Mo Wiff has ever seen.
I taught him everything he knows.
Exactly.
But honestly, you can't really teach that. And he never was a pitcher, but man, he's learned and he's developed. And I think the difference between this year and years prior is, the first year when he started and last year, he struggled early on in the season finding like commanding the strike zone, not necessarily
Yeah.
finding it, but commanding the strike zone. Now, he's not walking guys. I think he walked two guys in his last game, and it was in the fifth inning.
Right.
And obviously he had the one he struggled a little bit at the end against the Empire and was able to get out of the jam. And that game it was soaking wet. So, he has been dialed in since like start number
Yeah.
1, and man, I mean, it's scary. And we don't see obviously now with the, before Adam's injury, or I guess after Adam's injury, he's, really the only real lefty left. So you don't see a lot of it. You don't get to see a lot of lefties. It's a whole different aspect. And he's coming at you. He's throwing hard. He's throwing
Hard.
strikes. He's getting you to chase.
Yep.
And then obviously you have Tony and Jay Rich backing him up on the mound. And it's hard to beat this team, when they're only letting up 1 run per game.
Mm,
And then their lineup is so deep. This
tough.
lineup is unbelievable.
And they drafted Hitchcock, who I think he's in a top stats category across the board on hitting.
So I said this, before the draft started. I told Nick Bone, I said, because him and Hitchcock are buddies, and I said, I want to draft Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And I really, really did, because I knew how good that bat was going to be. We saw it at the Labor Day tournament last year,
Yes.
and I was like, man, I really want to get him. But then obviously, when you got pitchers there, you got to take them, especially dealing
Yep.
with an arm injury. And but I mean, this guy is delivering in key situations, big home runs, big hits with guys on base, and he leads the league in RBIs right now, and he's had RBIs taken away from him. That play that we talked about earlier with Blake, who I can't believe he didn't tear his ACL making
I
that
know.
play. That was an RBI taken away from Hitchcock. I know that because I had him on my fantasy team that week, and
Correct.
but yeah, unbelievable. Dalton has been one of the hardest guys to get out. No one can seem to do it.
Nope.
He is getting on base time and time again, and you got to get somebody out in this lineup. And even though they're batting 6, it hasn't been a problem for him at all so far.
Willibrink was hitless up to last week, but he checked in, logged
Yeah,
on.
and seeing like I didn't even think about it because he's had a slow start, but he's still a guy that
Yeah.
you don't want to groove him one. You don't want to let him get hot, because once he gets hot, it's even worse. And
Yeah.
yeah, this team is just it's just stacked top to bottom. We said it, they were the number one preseason power rank team for a reason, and they're showing it. The only reason why, the mojo passed them was just because of what they were doing at that time. And
Correct.
it's gonna be back and forth between them two for that one spot, probably the whole way.
I agree.
All right. In second place in this division, is it any surprise to you that the Mambas are in second place? They're
It is.
3-2, 7 points. Pretty good. And a plus 18 run differential. Obviously, they had a big second game last week, but
yeah.
But and I'll start with this real quick because
Okay.
to me, the biggest surprise with this Mambas team is we talked about in the off season before the season started. The Mambas has one of their lineup is one of the best in the league. Maybe they were second or third, maybe fourth in the league. It's not their offense that's winning them games. It's their pitching. Their pitching, they've only let up 5 runs, obviously in 5 games, so 1 run per game, just like the Thunderbirds. But this has been unbelievable. And no offense to Cole, but Cole, he'll tell you he's not, the best pitcher. Obviously, he's looked a lot better this year than in years past. But he's had to come in. He's gotten their only 2 losses, and it's because it's early in the season. Ryan O'Rear, probably not in the best pitching shape right now, where his arm probably isn't. You don't want to push it, especially early on in the season, and I'm gonna fight one more inning here and to pitch the full game. He's like, no, I'm just gonna let Cole pitch, which is probably the smart thing. And Cole's looked pretty good, and unfortunately, just came away with 2 losses, one of them in extra innings. And and that's good news. When Cole has thrown in 2 different games and you're still only giving up 5 runs, that's the story here. The story is their pitching has been absolutely dominant so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had the Mambas ranked down there at the bottom in my early preseason rankings, and that's only because I hadn't seen Dutton pitch yet.
Yeah.
That guy's good. He's 3-0.
He's very good. He's 3-0.
Yeah, so he knows what's going on. I think the scouting report on him was he built the strike zone in his backyard, and I kind of working. I kind of feel like partial to that because that's how I came up. I just decided that was what I was going to do, is learn how to pitch and whiff ball hard. So, and that's what it takes, man. You love guys like that are just thinking, I'm going to get this done.
Yeah, I've loved watching him. Just his the dedication that he's taken. I know he asked me for one of my cut balls last week, so he can practice with that and maybe even get because I will say the ball makes a huge difference, and I will preach that forever. To me, it definitely does. I can tell when I'm throwing a good cut ball versus a crappy one, and I've made a lot of crappy ones. I've had to practice a lot, and I really got to a point now where I really, really love it. For the first time ever. Well, not ever, because I guess besides the first year. But first time on this national stage that I in a tournament that I've actually pitched with a ball that I've cut. I did at MAW, and I felt fantastic with it. I loved it. Normally I use somebody else's ball, from their league that they cut, that I keep in my bag at all times to preserve it until October. But for the first time I was like, hey, I'm throwing my ball and I love it. And obviously I just cut a box of 24 for Jason. I just cut I think 12 for Jordan. I've cut 12 for Cole. I've cut a lot of wiffle balls in the past couple weeks. If you need some, let me know.
Yeah,
I like beer. That's my trade-off. Give me some beer, give me something, and we'll work it out.
That's it. That's my downfall, if anything, is I cannot throw a cut ball. I don't throw a cut ball. So
some guys don't like to. They like the scuff or whatever, and that works for them too.
Yeah.
But I want to throw this out here.
Okay.
About the Mambas real quick. So I lied. I said the pitching has been the biggest surprise for this team, and I forgot. It's not. The biggest surprise is obviously they're only through 5 games. Who do you think has the lowest batting average on the Mambas?
I don't know because they threw their stuff out of whack against us last week. So I can't even begin to venture into that. I mean, since you're saying it, I guess I would have to say maybe Cole.
It's Cole. He has
All
the
right.
worst batting average on the Mambas, I believe. It's
Yeah.
close, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I remember looking at it right the other day. I was shocked. I was just like, "Holy cow, this does not happen." And we've seen him struggle. He struggled against the Pilots pretty bad. Um, don't know what it is. Don't know what it's been, but um, I hope I hope for our sake that, maybe it continues for another week, and because I
Right.
play him this week.
Right.
But then I hope by the end of the month for SWBL weekend picks that back up. I mean, obviously slower pitch, but yeah, just that's been the biggest surprise for me, because that's I had Cole, I think, and maybe this is wise. I jinxed him, and because I'm picking him to win the batting title and everything else, and
Right.
yeah, puts, I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just contacts. Who knows? But
Still
uh,
early too. And
yeah,
and when other guys are doing it on your team, you don't have to, he'll relax
yeah,
and he'll find it. So
yep. Got to give him a little dig, every once in a while, though, right? That's
that's right.
brotherly love right there.
Brotherly
All right.
love.
In third place in the UCCL STL division is the Bombers. We are 1-4 with 3 points, a -5 run differential. I don't know. What do you think about this Bombers team so far this year?
Well, here's what I think. You guys have been in every game you played in. I think at least
That's
when you played us, I
but
felt like, yeah.
I think there was
The
one
opening
game.
day, was that one
No,
close?
it
I
was a
thought
game
that.
against. There was a game. It was close. There was one game against
Okay.
I believe the Mojo that we were
Okay.
not in.
Okay. Because I know we went to extras with the Grand Slam that we
Yep.
ended up battling back, which
Yep.
that's awesome. And
Yep.
then,
That was a fun game.
yeah, it was a fun game. I thought the first week it was a really close game too, but
The first week, if it wasn't 1,000-mile-per-hour winds,
oh,
I
brutal.
think it's a different story, because I hit a
Yeah.
I everyone Cole even said he
Yes.
didn't even move. I hit a grand slam to the moon, and it landed
Yes.
about 30 feet short of the fence.
It was
But hey,
wicked.
those are the
Yeah.
conditions. Both teams had to play in it. So
That's wiffle ball sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
So I think to answer your question though, what do I think about 104 bombers? I think that you're not going to let that stand. I think we know that. We saw this last year. It's the same show. When it's time, we know where the Bombers are going to go, and you still got a team full of guys that step up. So I'm not really too concerned yet. I think if you were to go 2-8, then I would say I might be
yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Uh, I've only thrown 3 innings so far. Obviously, took some rest after a big tournament weekend, and we've had some bye weeks. I feel really healthy right now. I'm very excited for this week to really kind of test it out at full strength. But I believe I'm ready and I'm back. The biggest thing for me with this Bombers team is the fact that we have been in most every game, and our our offense has really been better than I expected. Nick has done a great job at the plate, getting big hits. Had that big home run off Sam. Uh, you
Yep.
know, man, he a 2-out walk to Chris Metter, and then the lob pitch to him gave up a 3-run homer. If he gets Chris out,
Tough.
which he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts up to that point, if he can
Yeah.
just get that, that's huge. Uh, so we were right there against the Mojo in that game with Nick Bone. Uh, man, on the mound, he's looked
Great.
phenomenal, and I can't ask anything more from Nick. And he gets in his head a little bit, as I'm talking to him. He's like, he gets a little, I don't know if nervous is the right word, or he's just trying to do too much. But I'm like, Nick, dude, you're out here shoving, man. Like, just keep
Yeah,
doing,
you're fine.
trusting your stuff, man. Like
Yeah,
he's been throwing strikes. He's been a lot of movement. Uh, I think a lot of that gets in his head is maybe the velocity isn't like me or Caleb or somebody else. And like, not everybody has to do that. I'm like,
don't
dude,
have to have it.
you're
Yeah,
doing exactly what I want you to do. You're hitting your spots,
yep,
and we're
yep,
having a lot of fun. And then it's carrying over to his at plate to his at bats at the plate. Like it's a whole different season. He's not chasing as much as he did last year. Paul Pugh's been getting on base in front of me a ton, which has been huge.
yep,
I think I've taken a lot of pressure off myself, not trying to do too much and moving myself down in the lineup. Um, it's just I'm not stressing to get on base to start the game every time. Uh,
right.
Justin has been uh, a very solid addition at the plate. You know, obviously had that controversial, but I mean, flip a coin. Even on the video, you can't tell if it's fair or foul. And
No,
but I
it
mean,
wasn't
he's done really
obvious.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And Jake has been getting on base and hitting the ball really well. It's just like, man, once we put all this together and I'm on the mound, this could be, a whole different thing. And Justin's going to get better on the mound too. The guy, uh, obviously pitched with some nerves in the first game, trying to, come out in his first start and really impress and that can get to you, and it has. And
yeah,
but he showed, the next week, man, he could pitch really well. And then of course, he loses it, one game as well, but he's shown the potential that he can really pitch, and I think in time it's
yes,
going to be there. So our pitching staff has looked great, even with me only throwing 3 innings. And then obviously I'm very excited about our hitting. So looking forward to
yeah,
see where we can go from here.
yeah.
All right, last place. It's the Empire, 0-5, a -20 differential, run differential. Not the worst in the league. That's you guys.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Empire, because there's a lot of talk about will they win a game? Will they not? I think they're going to win a few games. They've been in quite a few games. They were in a huge game with Andrew on the mound against the
Yep.
Thunderbirds, and I believe they had the tying or go ahead run at the plate, and uh, might have been the tying, and they chose to take the walk to maybe even score one run, and they didn't. And then Andrew clutched up and like struck out like the next two guys. So
Yes.
this Empire team has been fighting. They've been getting better. Colin has looked better on the mound each week. He's gonna be very good. Tommy is getting better on the mound as well. What are you thinking here about the Empire?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, Colin is 0-4, right? That's not the
Yeah.
way anybody would want to start. However, that's I call it the eye test. He passes the eye test. He's
Yeah,
0-4,
absolutely.
but any point in time, he's going to beat you.
Yeah.
He's got to locate. I mean, that wiffle ball will
Especially in
eat
the
you up
second
if you
half.
can't locate. Yeah, exactly. And so, it just needs to tweak a few little things. I see some things where, once he figures it out, it's going to be deadly. I think one thing that Colin needs to work on too is just he's got stuff that we're not going to hit. So if you just get it over the strike zone,
Yeah.
they're not going to hit it. And I think trying to maybe do too much at the wrong time. But the guy's a great pitcher. He's even better than I remembered, honestly,
Yeah. Oh
from the
yeah, he's
tournament.
been
So
really good.
and
And
Tommy Dwyer, great pitcher. He's got the best swing in Mo Whiff, I think. The
dude,
guy,
his
I mean,
swing
he's a
is nasty.
beautiful swing, man. So he's gonna crush the ball. And Tom, I see we really haven't talked about him, but Tom has now taken over the
Yeah.
Empire, and I think he's done a great job in the short time he's been in the league. And
I love all the content that he's been putting out, especially like
oh
on the
yeah,
Empire Twitter. It's been fantastic.
yes, I'm not afraid of a little bit of bear poking, if you will. So I like it.
Oh yeah, love it.
Even though the shot was at me this week, or at our team, the Archers this week,
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
we are not some pitching feast, but we will prove that over the years.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's fun. I really do love it. Yeah, Tom's done a fantastic job. I'm thrilled to have him in this league. And honestly, he's producing for the Empire as well. Like he's had
Yeah, absolutely.
some big at bats and a couple of big RBIs for them that have, got them right there. And I think as the year goes on, you're going to see some of those clutch hits really play into their games. And we haven't even mentioned, Josh Rogers, leads
Right.
the league in batting average, hitting
Correct.
400. That just is not right. I've been playing with Josh for 10 years, and that has never never happened. Never even close to 400. Maybe like once or twice, like 300. But
He's
wow.
he's on pace to break the doubles record for MO WIFF history, I believe. He's
Yeah,
got himself quite a
he's right
stockpile.
there. I know he's gonna miss a couple games though with his kids' baseball games on Thursday night, so that could play a factor.
Gotcha. That could
Uh,
factor in.
but yeah, I mean, man, he's really done a fantastic job building a hitting hitting repertoire. That's hard to say.
Sure.
But it's been awesome to see. And then obviously you have Mike Flores, who is still there. I don't think his numbers are as high as they were, that we thought
Right.
they'd be at the start, but like we saw that he can turn it up in the second half. And this team is going to get a few wins, especially here in the second half. And I'm looking forward to this team. They're just going to continue to get better.
Josh has hit really good pitching too. He's
Yeah,
hitting
absolutely.
some of the best pitchers we have. So
Yeah, he has, and it's fun to see. It makes them a little more excited. I'm very sad that he's not going to be there this week to face the Melonheads,
oh yeah,
because that's one of the best
that's
matchups to
it.
see. But that's still going to be a lot of fun between those two teams. Absolutely. So, all right. That's about all for our Feather Shark and UCC STL divisions. So we're gonna wrap up here by saying, Rory, first off, thank you for stepping in and filling Adam's shoes. Adam did a fantastic job, and I think you're gonna do a fantastic job as well. I enjoyed sitting down talking with you tonight. I had a great time. I think we're just over an hour, but it's been a good show, and I can't thank you enough, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And I got big shoes to fill. Listening to you and Adam back in the early stages of my career in MO WIFF, just thinking, man, this is going to be awesome. And now here I am. So I appreciate the opportunity and hope we've made something entertaining that I know I like listening to it. So I hope everybody else enjoys what we put out.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys like and subscribe all of our stuff on all of our social medias. And if you haven't, check out the Mo WIFF store. Go to that mowiff.com, hit that merch tab. If you're on YouTube watching, look at me and Rory. We both got the sweatshirts on. We both got
Love
the
it.
hats on. I wear this hat, and the one I have the one that you got the hoodie, and I have that logo on the hat as well. And I wear
Oh
one
yeah,
of those two hats literally every single day. They're
all the time.
it's literally the same two hats every day. I'm not going to wear another one. So,
Better
uh,
get your jacket before they sell out. Everybody
oh
has
my
those
God, we
jackets.
might buy out that that whole store. It's like made to order, but we might buy out every single jacket that they
Yes.
have. I love seeing all those in the league. They're awesome. Good quality, good look too, and man, just all the gear that we've had and people have gotten has been cool to see. So make sure you check out that and get some. We don't make a killing off of it. We make like $2 per item or whatever it is. And it's all to
Right.
go back into the league and to get us some cooler stuff, as you've seen on the field so far. So
Yep. Definitely.
yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been a good night. We got games on Thursday nights, but stay tuned on Fridays for those premieres and on Monday or Tuesdays for those highlight videos. Thank you all for listening. I'm Cam Smith. He's Roy Rank. We're out.